I've been seeing a lot of TikToks lately about people complaining about how hard it is to live in America and everything's more expensive and it's a third world country with a Gucci belt. And I just want you to know one thing. You are not crazy. That is fact. We rank 25th in the world for economic freedom, 129th in global peace, the land of the 15th freest, 15th, 17th for quality of life, 20th for gender equality, 18th for healthcare. But we spend more than anybody else. We have the lowest life expectancy for men and women of any country with a high GDP. We rank second to last in childcare quality, 29th in work-life balance, no surprises there. Pay attention, because this is a weird one. The scale for this one says that the number one country has the highest rate of poverty. What that means is 54 countries have a lower poverty rate than the richest country in the world. We do, however, rank number one in a few places. We are absolutely killing the game in the cost of college. Number one, baby! Scotland tried, but we do have the highest rate of overdoses. And you can always rest assured that you live in the richest country in the world, except that the richest 10% own 70% of the wealth and the bottom half are fighting over 2.5% of it. What I'm trying to say is if you feel like you're struggling just to survive right now and this seems like a bunch of bullshit, it's because it is a struggle to survive right now and it is a bunch of bullshit.
I don't know why no one's talking about this, but there is a mass exodus of U.S. citizens from the United States. Look, I'm a real estate agent in Costa Rica. I help foreigners move abroad, move to Costa Rica, and make a life here. I've been getting a ton of stories from clients who are absolutely spent. I'm working with a psychiatrist who helps teenagers. And when I asked her why she wants to move to Costa Rica, she said, it's because I have lost all hope. My patients have lost hope. And what's worse is I have lost hope too. And how can I possibly be of service to someone else if I don't believe it's not going to get any better? So what she is doing is saving herself, packing up her bags, and moving abroad. This is where we are.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So in today's episode, you're going to be reacting to videos of Americans who are leaving the US in huge droves, right? And the biggest question you're asking in today's episode is, where are all of them headed to?
Right. So a lot of people have a lot of different reasons for leaving America, with the biggest reason being the economic differences in America and also the political situation in America. A few of them are leaving because of it's no secret by now, Trump has said that the only recognizable relationship is between a man and a woman. Do you guys agree to that, or do you not agree to that?
So guys, let's watch what people have to say and then we come back and talk about it. Also, consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and you can let us know your thoughts in the comment section, right?
Right. If you were to get out of America right now, what would be your biggest reason for leaving the States? Because people like us who are outside the States, we used to look at America like a land, a land of milk and honey. But right now, most Americans are telling people outside America that leaving America is actually the new American dream.
Right, but we don't talk a lot. Let's watch and then we come back with our commentaries.
This message is for you. Why are so many Americans leaving the U.S.? You notice more and more people are packing and moving abroad, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. Life in the U.S. is a non-stop grind. You work, you pay bills, you stress, you don't really get to live. You're just existing. And I always say to you guys, you're not depressed, you just live in the U.S. Because the truth is, this environment wears you out. The politics, the rising of the crime, the constant pressure, it never ends. And let's not get on the food. It feels like every week there's a recall, another GMO, some more pesticides, more chemicals. And you know the saying, you are what you eat. So if they keep filling everything up with junk, that means you're actually junk. You don't really get to be healthy. And don't forget about the health care. One bill here can wipe out your savings. But in other countries, you get better care for lower costs, fresher food, calmer lifestyle, and suddenly leaving doesn't sound so crazy after all, right? So for many Americans, it's not about running away. It's about moving forward to something better. So leaving the U.S. is not giving up the dream. It's actually living the American dream.
Americans have started to leave the US because of the rise of authoritarianism. And this is something that should absolutely not be taken lightly. I literally saw a report this morning from Australia talking about how they have some applications from this year of people seeking human rights shelter because they are scared of what's going to happen to them. They want to have a backup plan if things go to shit so they can go to Australia and get a visa. And that's absolutely nothing new. Canada has also opened up a program to Americans that may potentially want to leave the country as a sort of political refugee. While that might sound crazy, we are absolutely entering into an era where this is something that people are starting to consider. And even some professors at Yale and other colleges in the US who teach about the rise of authoritarianism and fascism have left the US or have at least started to make plans to leave. And if that's not a wake-up call to other Americans to rally together to join the fight, I don't know what is. The president should not be able to send armed troops to terrorize American citizens. People should not be able to be kidnapped regardless of whether they're foreign born or American born, nor should they disappear. So I would really look long and hard into your decision to be apolitical right now because things are changing rapidly in a very bad direction.
Y'all, my husband and I have decided that we just can't do it anymore. We decided to break our lease early and to just leave the country as soon as possible. We're thinking Vietnam initially, then Thailand. Our plan so far is to work every single day until we get over there, to use Delta points to fly there, and to use Hilton points to be able to stay at least for free for the first 3 months. While I'm there, I plan on doing English teaching online to supplement income, but I do plan on having as much money saved as possible. Just need a mental break. At first, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take a year siesta to get my life together and, get my mental health together. But honestly, it's just so stressful being here. We don't know how long we want to stay gone, but we do know that we're going to travel a few countries and we want to stay gone at least 2 or 3 years now. We are literally going to turn our whole lives upside down in the next 6 months. So if y'all have any suggestions, please let us know, because at this point we're just winging it. We're just going to sell everything, leave, and just take it from there.
My name is Jay, the VCA. I live here in Nairobi and I live on $2,500 a month. So I grew up in an immigrant household where we talked a lot about other countries, and we talked a lot about like how we migrated to Canada. My grandpa would tell me stories about how he kind of jumped off the ship in the United States and lived there illegally for a while before he became a doctor. Growing up that way, being exposed to the immigrant lifestyle and other groups of people, like people from Barbados, people from Trinidad, I always had that desire to go somewhere else. So I joined the military. I went somewhere else. I went to a couple of different places. So I came over here to Kenya. The first time I came was in 2022 or so. As soon as I got off the plane, Karibu, Kenya, and I just kind of felt at home. I kind of felt welcomed, and I just fell in love with the culture, not only the culture, but like the food, the people, everything. That kind of drew me back to come back here. I started thinking about in my mind in 2022, how can I make it to where I could travel wherever I want, but specifically to Kenya. And that's what I started working on back in the States, and now I'm back here. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jay the Beast VA. It's my house in Nairobi.
I can't do this anymore. I'm moving out of America in the next 3 weeks by any, and I mean any, means necessary. I'm genuinely going crazy having to live in a toxic American capitalist society, but they say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So although I have less than 2 months left on my lease and I'm trying to find a subleaser and the odds are stacked against me, I'm gonna pack up and get ready to go. So I went out and got a storage unit and started setting my stuff up because I'm not gonna sit around and wait for somebody else's confirmation. I also sold my car yesterday.
I'll never forget you, girl.
I'm convinced that by physically removing my stuff from this space, that it will no longer be mine. Like, I'm so close to being fucking free. I literally feel it. I see it on the other side. She's over there living her best life. Look at her. So although I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do it or where I'm going, I can guarantee you I will be out of this apartment in the next 10 days and in a new country by the first week of January 2024.
Last day in this house here. We are moving out today, January 31st. Finally, I can reveal my address. I don't care if anybody creepy people find it. Fitted RV in there. 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms, new year, new house coming in Europe. So I was paying $2,700 for this, and the next video I'm gonna show a comparison to what I'm getting in Europe for $1,500. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye, Idaho. Last video you saw me in still Boise, Idaho. Now we have made it finally officially to Europe, Latvia. In my new flat here, beautiful place. It's a little bit then double the ceiling size. Look at that yard. Massive fireplace. But here's why I'm wearing this crazy outfit. Because outside is extremely cold. And the Latvian flag. We're about to go down to get some groceries, but it is 5 degrees Fahrenheit, low on the Celsius. This is not typical. It's like record temperatures, but nonetheless. One of the things you gotta love about Europe is you can just pop over, turn on your blinkers, grab some really delicious bakery goods. You're still in the heart of downtown, pay a max $4 for it, and be on your way. I got you something.
Oh my God.
Let's eat.
Today's my last day here in my house. Tomorrow I leave for Bali indefinitely, and it just feels like very bittersweet, so surreal. And I truly, like, I love my house. I love my house. This has been my home for the past year and a half, where I've really sought refuge. This has been my haven. And yes, I'm moving to Bali, like, and it's very bittersweet, and it sucks. Like, I just can't live here anymore. My children are here. I don't really speak to my family, but my children live here. They're 14 and 18 years old. Just don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I have lived here almost 40 years of my life. There's so much more to the world. There's so much more to the world than just this little piece of backyard, this house. There's so much to see, and I don't want to see it only 2 times a year, only 2 weeks a year. I want a vacation. I want to travel for all my life, but just know that there are sacrifices. There are sacrifices that are made, and this is one of them, having to give up my house yet again. Willingly, but having to do this in order to get to what I want. This is the closing of a chapter and the beginning of another one, and it's beautiful, it's bittersweet, but at the same time it's the bitter part now.
Americans are leaving America, and it is not for vacation. It's for survival. A growing wave of Americans are packing up, terrified by Trump's dictatorship, Republican fascism, and Democrats' capitulation. Interracial couples, LGBT plus individuals, people of color, and intelligent people in general are seeing their rights replaced with restrictions. In Ireland, U.S. passport applications hit their highest level in a decade, up 60% in just 2 months. France is seeing long-term stay visas for Americans up 20%. Portugal, Spain, UK, relocation companies can barely keep up with the demand. Traffic to Blacksit Global, which helps Black Americans relocate, surged 50% after the election. Some are leaving quietly, like a trans couple in Colorado, because Trump wrongly says there are only 2 genders. States are moving to ban gender care, so they're planning their exit. Google searches for how to leave the U.S. spiked after the election, and real estate deals for Americans in Spain surged before the Golden Visa program was shut down. European culture is different than American culture, and many won't adjust. And of course, Europe has its issues. Immigrations, taxes. Putin expected to take Moldova and then Romania with his eyes on the rest of Europe for the new Russian Empire. But a possibility of another European war is a safer bet than staying in a country that is already a fascist dictatorship.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section, right? You know what all of these videos prove, and many like many others we've done on this channel, yeah, it's like Americans are realizing or discovering that there's a better quality of life outside America right now, and that is the new reality in America.
Right, and I think the reason why most of us are really asphyxiated in doing videos like this of Americans leaving America, I feel like deep down we are also just not in acceptance of America and how it is right now, because when for the longest time we've become used to being sold an idea that the only place that is a land of milk and honey in this world can be a place like America. So right now I do feel like this is also a way of us coping or catching up to reality that America is no longer what it used to be.
Right, and also a lot of Americans, at least those ones who are not getting out yet, because not everybody can afford
Get out at the same time,
right? So the message they're sending out there is try and do everything possible to be ready. The question also I'm going to be asking our audience is, what exactly do you think you need to be ready for? I feel like that is a long list of conversation that deserves an episode of its own, but you can just let us know on the comment section. If you were to take these words at heart, exactly what would you be preparing for, you know?
Right, and you know, what I've come to realize is that human beings in general, they don't like unpredictable situations. They don't like unpredictability, you know. Like, for example, right now, just the mere thought of people thinking that this is a dictatorship government and that this is the last election they're having, that is enough to scare somebody out of their boots.
Definitely.
Why am I saying this? Like, take for instance the country where we come from, Kenya, right? Right now, I don't know how many of you know our former prime minister, he's called Raila Odinga, for those who want to Google him, right? He passed on, and the news was broken today in the morning. And right now there's a lot of uncertainty because you're supposed to be holding our election in 2027, right? And right now there is a lot of uncertainty because people don't know who will step up to match the current president in the ballot, because Raila Odinga was the opposition leader party, and he was the only one courageous enough to stand up to the government or against the government when he wanted to.
Right, so right now people are kind of feeling like
there's a lot of uncertainty.
Right, and the opposition, this is the end of the opposition party being in you know, and
influential in Kenya.
And the worst thing that can happen in a country is not having an opposition party, you know.
Right.
And so just like Americans, in Kenya also there were rumors that this would be the last sitting president. Those rumors were there, you know. So you can imagine what people are feeling right now. So on this sense, when we say that, we kind of understand what you're going through when it comes to some political temperatures. It might not be on the same level, but we kind of get a feeling or a sense or a touch of what you're going through, you know. Right. And another thing also we wanted to talk about is the destination to which people have chosen. There's another episode where we covered there's this Black American lady, a very wonderful lady who normally takes people through her journey, right? And she relocated to China, and apparently her and her partner, they're having the best time of their lives because the quality of life they're getting in China with their dollars is very, very different compared to what they were getting in America. You find that people are paying with only $700, you can get a nice house or apartment to rent, you know.
Right, because we've also seen the case here. There was this white guy who moved to Europe, and for his flat he's paying, is it $1,500?
Yeah,
versus what he used to pay in America.
It's not even a flat, it's a house.
It's a house, not a flat, sorry. And versus what he used to pay in America, which was $2,000. And the space is massively huge. And just the same scenario here in Kenya. If you get a house that goes for $1,500, that is around
you're a super rich person.
You're a queen or a king in Africa, in Kenya.
Let me see.
I'm telling you guys, your dollars can really make you live well outside of
whatever they call third world countries. It means when you move there, you're gonna be like amongst the 1%.
Yeah, you're like amongst the 1%, because generally a lot of Kenyans do not, more than half of Kenyans do not earn above how many dollars? Let me just do that real quick.
So even with, oh my goodness, even with $1,000, that's like a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom apartment, not apartment, house, a home in a very posh area, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of Kenyans, more than half of Kenyans, earn below $387 per month.
Imagine.
So you can imagine someone who is able to pay for a house, just a house, paying $1,500. You're like the 1% of Kenya.
Not like you definitely are. Because I'm looking at $700, guys. In translation, that is in Kenyan shillings, that is 90,420. That is how many bedrooms?
It's like a mansion in Kenya.
That's a mansion in Kenya, 4-5-bedroom house in Kenya.
4-5-bedroom mansion in Kenya.
And it's not just a not well designed house, a very beautiful modern home. You know, I think I will look for an image or a video. We put it there as you speak. A house that is worth $700 to $1,500 in Kenya, so that you can get the picture, you know.
Right, so that is why I really do understand why Americans are so frustrated that there is money in the economy, they're making, there is money in the, I really do understand why a lot of Americans are frustrated, because in their eyes they're making a lot of money and they should be able to live well off of that money, but instead they live like they're not making any type of money. But if you go to other places like Europe, Africa, and Australia, that money can take you, okay, Australia I don't know it, but in some parts it can take you a long way.
Right.
And also when you come to the issue of healthcare system in America, they've been complaining for the longest about their healthcare system, and there is a Black American who lives in Kenya. I don't know if it is Traverse culture, right? She was showing Black Americans what their money can afford them in Kenya when it comes to healthcare system. Do you know the hospital she was in? That is such a beautiful hospital. My two eyes have never seen such a hospital, and I don't even know that it exists in Kenya. And so Americans are rich people. Okay, like, come on, in Kenya, if you can pay between $300 to $1,000, $300 to $1,000 in rent alone, you're a rich person. You're not suffering. Let me just put it like that.
That is in Kenya. So you go where your money can
serve you longer.
You know, and when people talk about, there's a lady who was talking about whatever you're feeling, you're valid in whatever you're feeling, because the problem in America is not you. The problem is you're going through a mental breakdown, a mental, you know, something mental, because of the situation you're living in. And it made me think
the food they're eating. Food can really frustrate you, by the way.
And it made me think about this American who moved to East Africa, and the first thing he landed, he says, the first thing he felt when he landed was that, you know, it's like a weight
was taken off of his shoulders,
and that he became so light. How can I explain it? He stopped, in short, he stopped worrying. He couldn't worry about looking,
constantly looking over their shoulders. And also about money and needing to pay taxes and all of that.
Yeah, so he says this sense of calmness that overwhelmed him, and this is, I feel like, the reason why a lot of Black Americans, when they land, the first thing a lot of them when they get emotional is just to cry. I feel like that is just like leaving the tears at the airport and just picking up a new life
and starting afresh.
Exactly, even if you can't put words to that, you know. But it's normally a beautiful feeling, and they normally say the only time you know whether you're valid in how you're feeling, as in, is for you to try and experience something different. Sometimes you might think America is working for you until you travel somewhere else and realize, damn, you've been living like a slave, you know.
And also oppositely, sometimes you might think America is not working for you until you travel to other places and then realize, damn, I have it good in America.
Right.
Anyway, it depends with the people's personal experiences.
Yeah, and that is why I was saying. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about, guys, when it comes to the question of where are people going, I feel like people are going to places where suits them, you know, because if I hear a Black American talk about moving to Bali, I'm like, oh, that's quite an odd choice.
It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, but people have personal reasons, and that is why also you need to be careful on the internet. When you're looking at people moving to places, that is their own personal experience for you.
And why they moved there. You just have to
Exactly.
look at places that will suit you
your
as an
needs and
individual.
wants, yeah. And before you go, you move there, before you sell everything to move there, you also have to visit that place first. Look at it, look at the environment, the political scenery, the social scenery. Look at it and ask yourself, is this where
you see yourself
okay?
relocating to long term?
Exactly. And is that a place where you'll be okay when you go to sleep at night, you know, and you're alone in that bed, you close your eye and feel contented with the decision you made? Or is it a place that is gonna be stressing you every time you don't even have peace to, you know, close your eyes? You feel like you want to complain about roads, about the services, about what, you know. So that is why you need to be visiting places before you decide to relocate, yeah? But guys, let us know what you think about this episode, because we'd really like to hear from you, yeah?
Right. And also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.